Hi, I'm reading from my novel Boston Brahmin's Widow. The characters and events in this novel are fictional. Chapter 3. There is little doubt about the sexual frisson I feel for mon ami. Yes, the attraction is there, but I don't trust her. To get her own way, I'm sure she is prepared to go to any lengths. Currently, she is planning a little vacation in England, and her desire to meet me there I'm forced to listen to 1,000 times. Walking with me in Hyde Park and no one witnessing our naughty behavior, the sort of thing one finds in a Mills and Boon novel, is, I presume, what she has in mind. Romance is something she is seeking in life, and yours truly is supposed to fill that void. On plenty of occasions during my bachelor existence, I had to play second fiddle in a so-called love triangle. A made-up love triangle, which in reality didn't exist. This time, I'm determined not to fall into that trap. Women by nature are canny. They know precisely what they want from a relationship. Mon ami's husband perhaps is also looking around for outside attractions and occasionally straying. In such a situation, what is she supposed to do? Should she just accuse her husband? Should she engage in an acrimonious battle? Shed tears, throw plates and refuse sex, the so-called direct action to sort out a marriage? And if, in spite of her fighting a war of attrition, her husband shows no remorse, what then? A clever woman uses another ploy to stamp her authority on the marriage. She creates a love triangle, a make-believe triangle. The mission is to instill jealousy in the husband's mind. So the woman plays her charm on me and expects me to lavish money on her, take her to films and theaters and to candlelit dinners in expensive restaurants. No, she doesn't do it secretly, but publicizes that fact to all her friends and relatives. Her strategy at that moment is for her husband to burn in jealousy and concede defeat. Poor me, however, has no idea of what's going on behind the scenes. The romantic evenings, eating out in restaurants, holding hands, even occasional pecks are enough to make my testosterone boil. The more eager I become, the more she plays the alluring role, while never allowing me to satisfy my desire. Then one day, amidst tears, accusations, and dramatic gestures, husband and wife realize they need each other, and as a peace offering to her husband, she shuts the door on me. Now she has all the love from her man, and poor me, ditched, spends days in gloom, not knowing how to put the broken pieces together. In spite of her repeated requests, mon ami and I don't travel together to England. My past experience has made me wary of traveling with a Bengali woman. She invariably carries umpteen suitcases filled with saris for every occasion, exceeds the baggage allowance, and then looks to me to sort out the crisis. Once I had a bitter experience with Jinu, a fellow Londoner, when she came to Calcutta. To my horror, Jhinuk had initially expressed her desire to spend the vacation with me. Apparently, her cousin's place in Calcutta wasn't quite up to scratch, and her diplomat father refused to lay on luxurious accommodation for his errant daughter. Father and daughter had bitter disagreements when she married my friend Ajit. The imagined horror of Jhinuk staying with me in Calcutta in my bungalow and then lording it over everyone in my extended family who live in the adjacent building made me seek her husband's influence to dissuade her. On that occasion, Ajit apparently told her that my conservative family in Calcutta would frown upon a married woman spending nights with me alone in my bungalow. It was a great relief when Jhinuk changed her mind, although she frequently came to my house and I had to satisfy her various desires, traveling to all the visitor spots that a Bengali woman living abroad must do, a dale in Belur Math, the Syrian temple that Swami Vivekananda built for his devotees, and a visit to the Dakshineswar temple where Sri Ramakrishna, the ascetic Brahmin, and Vivekananda's guru conversed with the goddess Kali. They all were in her itinerary. Amazingly, Jhinu had no qualms about mixing a religious fervor with the razzmatazz of a nightclub like Tantra in Park Street. That summer I was trying to cope with Jhinu's various demands with great difficulty until it came to the time of her departure to London. As luck would have it, and I bet you it was no coincidence, she was booked on the same flight to England as I was. At the airport, when I saw her, she immediately took charge of everything. By nature, she is garrulous. Soon, she roped in a number of women whom she hadn't met before, and they all started narrating their awful experiences in their native land, much to my embarrassment. The worst thing was still awaiting me. Her umpteen suitcases were bursting to the seams, and they pushed the indicator at the weigh-in well over her baggage allowance. So this poor beggar had to cave in and have our cases weighed together. Sadly, it meant my seat in the aeroplane was next to hers. As night fell, she thought she had had enough and commanded me to find somewhere else to sit so that she could stretch her legs. "You must understand, Kobi," she said. "For the last 3 nights, I was too busy to get a wink of sleep." The aircraft was far too full for there to be an empty seat, but Jhinu wasn't prepared to accept it. "Oh, please, Kobi," she commanded. "Show some initiative. That man is hogging 2 seats and pretending to be asleep. Wake him up and say that your companion is ill and you need to have that seat." There was no point arguing with Jhinu that she was fit as a fiddle, and no one would buy her atrocious lie. This stupid fool therefore had to spend the major part of that night either walking inside the confined space of the aircraft or standing in front of the lavatory. Oh yes, the diplomat's daughter stretched her legs on my vacant seat. No, I am not prepared to repeat that experience again, not even for mon ami. Thank you.